afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us again for another weekly Q&A. I love the idea of going off the beaten path a little, and today we have someone I met I actually was by the grace of God, as we like to say, right? I met Sharisa White, and she actually owns a boutique here in town, and she did a Survivor fashion show for us, and she gave me an idea, and I wanted to talk to her about it. Good afternoon, Sharisa. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, good afternoon. Thank you for having me. Good afternoon.
You know what? So we got to talking on the phone, and after talking to you, you gave me this idea about technically, really, it was about being a survivor and starting over, living out your dream. So what did you do? Tell me again what you did before you started Dela Couture.
Absolutely. I would love to. I'm in marketing, and I've been here in Las Vegas for the last 11 and a half years. And I've worked at different resorts on the Strip, and lastly, the Holiday Inn Club Vacations. And I was marketing different people from all over the world coming in town and coming to Las Vegas with their families and enjoying what we had to offer on the Strip and just making some of their dreams come true. So marketing is a passion for me. I was in marketing when I was diagnosed as well too, back in 2011. So it just all came together. So hospitality, I have a marketing degree in that, and that's what I was doing.
And you enjoyed that?
Yes. Oh, yes. Because I love talking to people.
Yeah,
so,
right.
Yes, it was amazing, and I love to vacation. I think that's what touched my heart more than anything. I was actually living out some of my vacations through the families I was meeting.
Right.
So, yeah.
I love to vacation too. I think you've hit on something there for sure.
Yes.
So it wasn't that you didn't like your job. You loved what you did.
Absolutely. Yes. Really, really. Like I said, I felt like every day I went to work, I really felt like I was on vacation, beautiful resort style, and just like, doing concierge work and helping them, kind of plan their vacation while they was here. So it really made me feel good and see families together. I'm very passionate about that.
Yeah, which sounds lovely. But then we hit up in a pandemic, and some crazy things happened.
Yes.
And
Yes.
instead of giving up, what did you do?
Well, when we came into the pandemic and when COVID hit, I was furloughed and my husband was furloughed. And I had lost my mom. It'll be 3 years next month. And when I lost my mother, I promised her she would always tell me, you just taught me how to do everything with boutique. And I think that's what you should just get back in. I'm like, Ma, I have a career. I'm doing marketing. I'm at the resort. Yeah. Well, I just think you should do this. So it stuck with me. And, some of us know when you lose someone and it never leave your head or your heart what they've said to you. So when COVID hit and the pandemic came and I did become furloughed, I said to my husband, this is the time that I should go out and do what Mom wanted me to do. And I should do it in honor of her. And it was one of the best decisions that by far that I feel one of the best in my entire life. So I started Dela Couture. I told my husband, let's go look for something. Let's go look for a place and let's do this in honor of Mom and make it beautiful because that's what she was to me. And that's how Dela Couture became. Dela Couture is named after her. My mom's name was Dela. So I just added a little French with it, and it's her name spelled out, but I added a little Dela, but it is her name. And so it's so meaningful. So I started that boutique. We actually got the keys and opened our doors in the middle of the pandemic. We actually opened in May of this year of 2020.
So recently, actually, that is very recently.
Very recently.
And so you didn't have to actually talk your husband into it, did you? Was he like,
Uh, he was, well, no, I have to say, I'm going to answer that and say, no, it's because we both was there at my mother's bedside.
right?
And we both said to her that we will do whatever it takes to keep her legacy alive. And mom had a boutique, back in Michigan. So it was very easy for him because we looked at each other and said we was not going to let this beautiful person, beautiful spirit, just inside and out. We wasn't going to let it just go away. And we're talking like, yeah, I remember when mom was here. We were going to do something about it, and even just fight back with her cancer. So we already had knew that this we would do and just help others. We just didn't know how we was going to tie it together. And of course,
Mm-hmm.
we did not have a clue on COVID coming at all. We didn't have a clue, period. So it wasn't hard for me to convince him to jump aboard.
Which is great. So this is what I was thinking, and I find it interesting. You are a survivor, right? You're almost a 10-year survivor,
Yes,
almost.
yes, yes, absolutely. 2011. So yeah, it's 2020 now. So yeah, right short of 10 years, January.
Wow. And you made it through that. You fought your way through that, and here
Yes,
you are. And
yeah,
then another tough time hit, and I like the idea and the strength behind, you know, there's been some interruptions in your flow, right? You've
yes.
been interrupted a couple of times, and then you just get up and keep going. Do you think that a lot of that has to do with your support system as well?
I really do. Yes. I think it has to do with, a lot has to do with support system. But a lot has to do with just being positive and just getting back up and staying a little bit focused and not allowing things to knock you down and just feel like, okay, this is it.
Yeah.
So it has a lot to do with strength and wanting to be a fighter and fight your way through a lot. I think that's a lot of advice that I give to women that I speak to that has been newly diagnosed. Just you have to stay positive. Positivity got me through.
Mm-hmm. I've noticed, it's funny you should say that, because one of the things I noticed about the boutique was all of the sayings that you have spread throughout the room that I love reading, and they're all very positive. And I noticed that, and I was like, wow, this is a happy place to end up. Above and beyond the fun and cute and adorable jewelry and clothing are the
Oh,
everything you
thank
have that
you.
decorates everything.
Yeah.
And that's you, right? That's your style. That's your
Oh,
vision.
yes. Yes, I will say that. I came up with the color, just everything was kind of family oriented and it means a lot. Every single thing that's actually in the boutique. The color of the boutique is fuchsia, pink,
Mm-hmm.
and I related that. I always knew that I wanted it to be fuchsia because that was my mom's dog name and that was her baby. So I told my husband, I was like, okay, it has to be fuchsia. And so that's how the color came about. Every little thing in there was kind of like put together. My husband did all the painting and just did the shelving and we were hands on. We did every single thing from literally, and I'm not just saying this, but from our heart, and we tied it all together. And with my aunt, she flew in town and did her little pieces. And then I had, a girlfriend that did the beautiful flowers there. So it all came from a personal place. And I think people say that when they walk into the boutique, they actually feel the love because every single thing in there that was done with creativity, it was really done with love. So,
Yes. And uh, I like that it's different, right? So this is the boutique itself is mostly um like from your mind, correct? Or you and your mom? Like, is it similar to your mom's boutique back in, was it Michigan? Is that what you said?
Yes, yes, back in Michigan. No, it's not similar.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
But yeah, but it's definitely just all surrounding her with the colors. And when I pick out jewelry, I think of things that she wore, and when I pick out clothing, I'm actually shocked about that myself because the style has become like, oh, okay, I can do that. But it's still a learning. It's still like I learned something every single day with the business.
Yeah.
So I just go for how I feel about the item. And the main thing that just really helps me is I want to make other women feel at their best, and I want to make them feel beautiful. And I think dealing with what I've gone through and being a survivor myself, I just go back to that place, how I was feeling when I was diagnosed. How did I feel when I put on clothes, and what colors and what jewelry, and things that made me feel comfortable and safe. And I truly, since I experienced it, I want to give that back. So it comes across really easy with that.
Wow, that's lovely. That is a lovely sentiment. I really enjoy
Yeah.
that. So let
Yeah.
me ask you some practical questions here,
Sure.
because one of the things I wanted to talk about, we talk a lot about cancer treatments and all that, but I want to focus for just a minute on getting your focus away from cancer and
Yeah.
focusing on doing things in your life that you can still do. Here you are, almost a 10-year survivor, starting your own business.
Yeah. I got emotional when you just said that. So excuse me.
In a good
Yes.
way, right? Right?
Oh, in such a good way.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I find that that is a really wonderful example, which is one of the main reasons why I wanted to talk to you. Even me, I'm not a cancer survivor, but I still love the idea of living my dream or living into something that I promised, or honoring someone in my family, and you're actually embodying that. So I just wanted to talk for a moment about what has to go into that. It didn't just magically happen, right? Like, you had to go out and find a location. You had
Yes.
to go out and you had to do some steps. Can you remember some of those steps that you had to do and some of the obstacles you had to go over that would help somebody else who wants to do the same thing?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Well, it's funny that you would say that because when we had initially started talking about doing something as far as opening a business and opening a boutique, we thought of location. And the location that I thought would be outside of a mini mall, something that, people can walk by and they'll see us, and I can put beautiful things in the window. So I had a vision, and my husband, we both were thinking, okay, well, where we're going to start. So we started looking all over town, and we live in like the Southwest Spring Valley side. So of course we started, near the house, and we came across one place, and I just kept saying, I don't know about this place because the traffic going in the building, I don't think it would be, that great. And I said, well, we'll give it a try. And it had become very frustrating because we did not have a clue on how expensive rent could be. We didn't have a clue on things they were asking for as far as leasing. So that part of it, just finding the location, making sure that it was somewhat right, that would give us a chance. That was, I think, was the hardest part because we actually had our sights on maybe one or two places before we landed where we're at now. And it was all because of COVID, actually, that we did land where we're at now, because people were moving out of the space that I actually have due to COVID. So
Mm.
it all just came around. But looking, starting, being focused, and trying to just be still and think of a good location, I think would be the best place to start.
Hmm. But because you already knew, I'm going to start a boutique. I'm going to start a clothing and accessory
Yes,
boutique. That was
yes,
already the plan. Did
already
you
the plan.
Did you happen to write a business plan out at all?
No, I
Good
will
for you.
tell you, I did not. I did not
Okay.
write a, I did not. Um, it was all literally about what am I going to do to honor my mom and what does she want me to do and how can I bring this together? And I always knew, and that's why I got a little emotional when you asked that question, because from 2011, I always knew that I wanted to give back and make women beautiful. So this
Mhm.
was going on even way before I lost mom, but I just never put it together and never tied it in. And I think with that loss, it just pushed me like there's no other time, but I have to move forward with it. So
Mhm. And you did. And that's what's so awesome and amazing. I'm like, it's interesting for me because it's such a difficult time in the world, and yet
yeah,
so many good things are coming out of it. I mean, there's unfortunately bad things that make us sad and we struggle
of
with.
course.
And I don't want this to be the course that we're taking, but because it is the course we're taking, then let's see what good things can come out of it. And you and your husband have done that.
Yes.
And I find that really awesome. What we're going to
Thank
do
you.
at the end of our interview here is I got some video from the fashion show that you did.
Wow.
Oh, right? So I'm gonna feature some of that video just so people can see some of the outfits that you put together. The one you were wearing, I realized may not come from the boutique, but oh my gosh, I loved it. You're
No, it did. It did come from the boutique.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh, I loved it.
Thank you.
If I could have pulled it off, I would have considered that outfit for myself as well. But
You can.
I wanted to ask you, just out of curiosity, this is kind of off the beaten path, but your makeup style was so noticeable, and your aunt, I'm assuming you and your aunt got together and discussed that the rhinestones and the I mean, where did that come from? Was that like a vision you had, or
You know what? Yes. I had went on one of my shopping trips for the boutique and I saw the body jewels and the makeup
yeah,
jewels. And I went, that would be perfect because I thought that it will stand out. But I don't know if you noticed what I had on, those were tears. And I had the three jewels that was right there, right underneath the eye, because I wanted to represent that. And I wanted people to know that you can bring tears into joy. And
yeah.
that's exactly what I was doing.
And I love what was that thing across the top though?
Yeah, that was well, my aunt had that one because she just was like, I'm wearing this that's going all the way across, which I thought was gorgeous too.
Yeah,
Those were still body jewels, the body jewels in the rhinestone.
I love that idea. Like I
Thank
love
you.
when I learned. Like sometimes I always tell people I'm a genius and a liar. I am those two things, right? So it's my joke. And then I see things that I would have never thought of, and I'm like, wow, who would have thought of that? So that's what
Yeah.
I like about different types of businesses from different people from different parts of the country all coming together. It's one of the great things about Las Vegas as well, right? It's
Yes.
like I'm from
Yes.
Los Angeles, you're from
Yes.
Michigan.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
I have a coworker that's or an old coworker is from Wyoming. I mean, like we're all from different places, and we get to bring that all together here, which is such a great thing.
Yes. Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
All right, young lady. So, what, if any, words of wisdom would you give to someone who's like, you know what, I want to start my own business and I just need like the three sentences of encouragement?
Passion. I absolutely start with passion. If you have passion or if you're passionate about something in your heart, I think it will come across transparent. And that's what a lot of people say when they come inside Dela Couture.
Mm-hmm.
They see it because I'm so passionate about it because it's so meaningful. Make it meaningful, number one. And positivity, just staying positive about it, because you will have things that come into play that may not work for you right then and there. But if you don't give up and if you stay positive about it, I think that you will make it work. And prayer, absolutely. Just stay still. And I believe in, pray about something that's actually meant for you. And like how you said, you love what you do, and it come across when you came into the boutique. Not only did you see beautiful things, but I saw just your personality just bubbly and just beautiful. And it was so meaningful because you were there just to help. And what you do on a daily basis of helping women and that call and want to know information and not sure and haven't talked to someone that's already been diagnosed. What you do, it comes through you. So I want to say, just believe in yourself, passion, prayer, and doing something meaningful, and it'll all come together.
I love it. All right, I cannot tell you how happy I am you were joining us. Now, remember, everybody, stick around because we're going to show you some snippets from the fashion show,
That's
the
great.
Your Strength fashion show. Hey, wait, one quick thing. Where are you located?
I am located at 107 East Charleston, and that's downtown inside the Arts Factory in the Art District. And I'm upstairs, Suite 295. So I'm in that beautiful rainbow color building, sitting right off Main in Charleston.
Yeah,
So
and what a
great
fun
location.
building, right? It's a great building full of all kinds of interesting, wonderful small businesses, right?
Yes,
I love
yes.
that building. It's a great building. All right. So thank you so much for joining us today. Like I said, everybody, stick around for a few minutes because we are going to watch some snippets of the fashion show that took place, which was a lot of fun. And I cannot tell you, thank you. We appreciate you joining us today, Sharisa.
Thank you for having me anytime. I appreciate you guys. Thank you.